2016 pledges. As we move to the discussion of the 2016 budget, let me spend a few minutes talking about the most significant item, which is our pledge income. The diocese has for many years considered 10% to be the minimum standard for congregations to be giving to the diocese, similar to what most congregations expect their parishioners to do based upon the standard of the biblical tithe. So our request for this year was similar to what we've done in the past. Those churches that had pledged 10% or more in 2015 were asked to increase their 2016 pledge by 1/2%. And those who were giving less than 10%, we asked them to move halfway to 10% in 2016 with a plan to get to 10% in 2017. Most, if not all, congregations find that the largest share of their pledges come from a very small number of parishioners, and it's the same thing from a diocesan standpoint. What we found over the years is that about 12% of our congregations give 50% of our total pledge income. 24% give 25% of our income, 25% give the next 15% of our income, and about 39% of all of our congregations give 10% in total. So we are just as highly dependent upon the fewer number of congregations as churches are with the fewer number of parishioners. So we have asked for pledges from all 102 of our congregations. At this point, we've received 87 of them. We asked for each congregation to give us their pledge percentage, an estimate of their normal operating income for the next year, and then the result of multiplying those numbers, which gives the dollar pledge. And for these 87 congregations, 42 have increased their pledge percentage for 2016, and 36 have maintained their pledge percentage. Only 9 have decreased their pledge percentage. 35 estimate that they'll have higher income, and in terms of pledge dollars, 47 have increased their dollar pledge, 14 have maintained the same dollar pledge as last year, and 26 have decreased their dollar pledge as compared with 2015. So on an overall basis, about 54% of the number of dollar pledges so far are higher than they were last year, and 70% are either higher or are the same as they were last year. The median, if you take your pledge percentages for all 87 congregations and you list them from the highest to the lowest and you pick the one right in the middle, that's the median. Our median pledge for these 87 congregations is 9%. Last year for those same 87, it was 8.75%. For all of our congregations last year, the median was 9%. The median normal operating income went from 160 last year down to 151,000. But again, we don't know what it's going to be when we do the entire 102 congregations. We'll find that out in the next week or two. Slight increase in the total dollars pledged for 2016 as compared with what those same 87 congregations pledged last year. This is a chart, and I have to give kudos to my daughter Julia in Texas, because you wouldn't be seeing this because I don't know how to do this, but she does. And what this does is it breaks all of our congregations, and it shows a diamond at the intersection of their normal operating income and their pledge percentage. Vertical line indicates the 9% median percentage, and the horizontal line shows the median normal operating income of $151,000. So those above the horizontal line are the larger churches, meaning in terms of having over $151,000, and to the right of the line are those that are giving the higher percentages. This chart just breaks down and gives you the number of churches in each of those quadrants. And as an example, the bottom left one, that's lower than $151,000 and less than 9%. There are 23 congregations. And in the upper right corner, the larger churches that are giving more than 9%, there are 26 congregations. One church, you should know, gives 23.85% of their income to the diocese. We reached a peak of pledge income back in 2002 when we had $2.8 million, and then for the next 8 years it went down on an average about 3.5% a year. until it got down to just over $2 million. In 2011, it tweaked up a little bit to $2.1 million, and we've been at that number since and through 2015, and we're going to use that same number for 2016.